Hello and welcome, Katie here. Thanks so much for joining me on the Arranging Crafts YouTube channel. Today we're going to make a gift bag, and there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to keep it simple and use an already made gift bag that I picked up at the dollar store. You actually get a 3-pack for $1.25, but we're going to decorate it. So we'll make it a little bit more special than buying just a store-bought, and it's a great way to stretch your supplies. So the inks I'm going to use some Delicata ink. I've got VersaFine Clear Summertime, Charming Pink, and Cheerful. And I've got this die set. This is actually another stretch of your supplies. I'm going to use this balloon that comes in this Winnie the Pooh die set from Spellbinders. And I've done some legwork here. So I just need to get my bag out of there. And we're going to do just a few more elements to our gift bag, and of course you could do both sides, but today on camera I'm just going to show you the one side. So I've got a piece of white cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's going to be the front piece of our card, our gift bag, sorry. And I went ahead and stamped that with this Delicata ink and this star background. You could stencil this. I didn't have stencil that was kind of delicate enough. The ones I had seemed to overpower the front panel. So, you know, I found that the background stamp worked the best for my situation and what I was looking at. And take that off. And then I just, like I said, die cut out of some white cardstock this balloon that comes in the Winnie the Pooh die set. So any balloon dies you've got, go ahead and use those. You got to scan and cut a Cricut, whatever you got, cut some balloons. We're going to use 3, and then I used 3 different stencils. This one's from Simon Says Stamp. I think this one's from Altenew, but it's not labeled. So it's just some dots, some stripes, and some stars, which is a pink balloon. There it is. And that was a layering stencil set from Spellbinders and Simon Hurley. I just used the 3 of those to kind of fill that balloon in. Because again, I didn't have the right stars that I wanted. This Celebrate die comes from scrapbook.com. So I'm sure it's still available, but to be honest, I'm not sure. Everything I've used, I'll link up down below and in the blog post. That way you'll be able to find it if you're interested. I always encourage you to use what you have. So always start there and fill in when you see a project that you like and you don't have the supply, or you don't have something that's similar or close that you can use. You know, that's when I personally go and grab what I'm looking for to be able to create the same design. So I just want to create a little bit of splatter. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Charming Pink. Cheerful. Some Charming Pink. And I'm going to use a little bit of Potion number 9. You probably could use water here, but I think it'll be better because I'm just going to create some splatter to put on onto. And you know what, it might just break this ink down, so I'm not sure how it's going to do. Now that I think of it, I thought this would be better than like alcohol. And let's see how we splatter on. Now that's kind of clear. All right, let's get that out of there. Okay, so that's not going to work. Although, I might have just used too much. Let's try more ink. Probably not. It's just breaking it down, right? Because you need the liquid. Let me grab some water. Or some alcohol. There we go. Alcohol's it. There we go. Okay, so I just want to kind of create just a brighter color, mixing color. You could do silver and gold, you know, whatever you feel like. I might go ahead and clean that out and get some more pink. what I needed there. This is 91% isopropyl alcohol. Just so you're aware. There, okay, I like that. Get that out of there. All right, put that back there. Make sure I didn't drop something I need. Okay, no, that was just a stencil. All right, let's grab a paper towel and dry this off real quick. All right. All right, so I'm gonna start. Seeing I stamped it and spun it on accident, which actually be kind of cool too, but I want it to be clear. So before I spill that alcohol everywhere. All right. Now the balloons that I did, I just used those same colors, a yellow, pink, and an orange. Used a blending brush, but you know, they're kind of bold colors, so I tried to go soft, but if you don't tap off the brush, you're going to get a stronger color payoff. And then I used a stencil and went over top a couple of times to make sure those colors would... Oh, I was holding that block to cut that one. I still use my finger. To deepen the color. So it's a nice way to stretch your inks too. If you don't have a lot of them, that if you go over them multiple times, you can get deeper color concentration. And I'm just going to angle this. Let me straighten the bag out. That way it looks like an angle. And here's our balloons. This thread that you see on here is just DMC thread. It's like the white shimmery one, so it's kind of metallic-y. Always struggle with these. I'm gonna put them down and then make it a little bit easier on myself. Okay. What I do with my other glue. So let's just get some glue on these. All right. You know what I forgot to do? I don't know if I'd be able to lift this up anymore. I meant to cut that string, but you know what? Maybe for now. Just give him a haircut. Trying to keep my finger out of it so it doesn't get glued on there, but fortunately it's not like super glue. Get my block. Under. Bingo. All right. This is just silver cardstock. Poke that guy out. There we go. Another way to hold those down, but I knew that the ends would kind of float up and make it loose. So better to try to get them tamed down there. And you know, you couldn't really use any double-sided adhesive because you know they're right there on the top. Let's see, we might lose that guy. Might need a little bit more. I don't think that's too bad. Here, let's compare. The blank one. And, you know, for $1.25, you can't beat it. Now, you can make your own bags with your scoreboards and things like that. So don't feel like you got to go out and buy some. I would definitely use like a 65-pound weight. And, of course, your bag, unless you're using 12 by 12 cardstock, your bag's going to be, you know, smaller, much more like a treat bag. You know, so just keep that in mind if you want to use cardstock to make your own gift bag. But, you know, doesn't go wrong when you got a nice little white bag that you can easily convert. And then, of course, you can paint the other side. You could write a message on this side. You could, you know, of course, duplicate it. You could even put a pocket if you wanted to. Slip your handmade card back there. But I think it's pretty cute. Not complicated. Certainly something everybody can do with supplies that they probably already have. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.